The long-awaited NCAA sanctions finally surfaced this morning. We will give you live coverage of everything you need to know up next. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Carson.
And I'm Grace McClanahan.
The NCAA sanctions erupted on the Ole Miss campus this morning, and many were not happy.
That's right, Carson, but many fans were confused about the details of the sanctions. Fortunately for us, we have SportsWatch reporter Colin Rivera to explain what the sanctions mean. Colin?
Thanks, Grace. From anger to relief, there were mixed emotions from the NCAA finally releasing the sanctions pinned on the Ole Miss football team. Here are the official details of what the team is being hit with. Many fans thought that the NCAA imposed a 2-year bowl ban. That is not the case. They simply included the self-imposed bowl ban that Ole Miss had previously tagged on for this season. So it is only the 1 year. There were additional scholarships taken away as well. That would be the total amount to 13 over the next 3 years. And finally, there was the $179,000 fine and a 4-year probation period. Our SportsWatch reporter Tori Reese has been covering the developing story all day long. Tell us more about what these sanctions mean to the Ole Miss program, Tori.
Thanks, Colin. Like you just said, with the NCAA releasing those sanctions against Ole Miss, the message was very clear by both Chancellor Jeffrey Vitter and Athletic Director Ross Bjork. The fight still continues. They plan to appeal that 2018 postseason ban. Again, they are implementing that self-imposed ban of 2017 because of the 6 wins that they had. They were eligible, so they are appealing that 2018 postseason ban along with that claim of lack of institutional control. They said that that's unclear, unfair for the NCAA for them to sanction that out. They said that the turning point in this investigation was the 2016 NFL draft. They said regarding the former offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil and the allegations that came out with that. After that, they said that they felt isolated. They felt left in the dark. They felt that they were shut out by the NCAA as far as communication goes. Now, that being said, the appeal process is 15 days to submit an official appeal to the NCAA, but they already have boots on the ground on this one. They already have documents, and they're going to submit that appeal next week. Without a doubt, they are going to fight this one. Now, that being said, as far as transfers go, the rising seniors are the only ones that are able to transfer out freely. Anyone with multiple years of eligibility would have to go through the same transfer process that the NCAA allows as a normal transfer student would. Now, again, that's big news surrounding swirling rumors around quarterback Shea Patterson and other offensive defensive weapons around that side of the ball. So, again, we'll keep you up to date on what we find out about that. But, again, It is Bjork who said that the confirmation that they will continue to fight on. They don't have any potential transfers as far as anyone learning to transfer out of that. But again, they will be under a 3-year probationary period, along with additional scholarship reductions and additional fines. Along with that, again, the mood with both Vitter and Bjork is one of, they said that they brought up information from over 30 years ago to include into this investigation, and they said that that's unfair. When is a clean slate needed?
So, Tori, what's the feeling like at the practice facility today?
Thanks, Colin. Colin, the mood around the locker room, again, they met in the practice facility around 10 a.m., and I'm going to be quite frank, it was sad, it was somber. Heads were down, but they said, the message that Matt Luke came out and said is that we've been through this all again in this 2017 season. Again, we will continue to go through this in the 2018 season if need be, but again, we're going to fight for you. We're going to try to appeal that ban because it's unfair for the players. Again, reporting from the Manning Center, Tori Reese, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Thanks, Tori. While many may forget what Ole Miss had done in the violations dating back to 2010, our own Max McCann explains how they got to these sanctions.
The day is finally here as Ole Miss received its final sanctions from the NCAA. For some Ole Miss fans, this saga has been going on for so long that many forget where it started. It actually began over 5 years ago when the NCAA first showed up to campus to investigate the Ole Miss women's basketball program under then head coach Adrian Wiggins. Rumors began swirling around that time the NCAA was also investigating the football program about ACT test fraud that occurred under Houston Nutt back in 2010. Two of his staffers, Chris Vaughn and David Saunders, conspired to rig test scores for 3 potential recruits. To this day, it has been one of the more serious allegations levied against the program.
I have decided to attend the University of Ole Miss.
Fast forward a year to National Signing Day in 2013. Ole Miss landed its best recruiting class in history, landing the nation's #1 player in Robert Kondichi, including other highly touted players such as wideout Laquan Treadwell and offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil. This was a big day for Ole Miss, but many outsiders began accusing Ole Miss and new head coach Hugh Freeze of cheating to get those high-caliber prospects. These rampant accusations came flying with the NCAA already on campus. Hugh Freeze made matters worse with a tweet that was quickly taken down that read, "If you have facts about a violation, send it to compliance@olemiss.edu. If not, please do not slander these young men or insult their family." Many observers saw this tweet as a shot at NCAA investigators. 3 years would go by without any new developments in the NCAA case. During that time, Ole Miss turned that recruiting success from 2013 into wins on the field, culminating with a big Sugar Bowl win in January of 2016. Another big signing class was around the corner as well. However, a month after that Sugar Bowl win, Ole Miss announced it received its first notice of allegations from the NCAA that included 13 violations that occurred under both Hugh Freeze and Houston Nutt. As a whole, the allegations were nothing that would suggest the program was about to receive the hammer by the NCAA, and Ole Miss was still able to sign a big class that spring that included Shea Patterson and A.J. Brown. Many thought the NCAA issues would be over at that point, but that would not be the case.
With the 13th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Laramie Tunsil, tackle, Ole Miss.
In what was supposed to be a big night for Ole Miss, as a bunch of their players were set to go in the first round of the NFL Draft, Laramie Tunsil's social media accounts were hacked, including messages that appeared to indicate Tunsil was receiving payments from Ole Miss coaches. In the press conference afterwards, Tunsil admitted the text messages were true.
So, was an exchange between you and your coach of money?
I had to say yeah.
Soon after, the NCAA would reopen the investigation into the Ole Miss football program. However, this incident involving Tunsil was never included in the second notice of allegations.
Earlier today, our outside legal counsel received the university's notice of allegations dealing with the football program.
A year later, in February of 2017, with the NCAA cloud firmly over the program, Ole Miss announced it received its second notice of allegations, with 21 new allegations that occurred exclusively under Hugh Freeze.
I am extremely disappointed to learn that any member of my staff violated any SEC or NCAA rules, and as the head coach, I regret those actions.
Ole Miss also announced it was self-imposing a bowl ban and would be forfeiting SEC postseason money along with scholarship reductions during the 2017 season. As more facts came out about the second notice of allegations, it was learned that many of the allegations in the second notice were from a current Mississippi State football player named Leo Lewis. Lewis alleged he received $10,000 from an Ole Miss booster, as well as free gear from an Ole Miss apparel store, Rebel Rags. Lewis's statements had some inconsistencies in them, however, so when the Committee on Infractions hearing occurred in September in Covington, Kentucky, Ole Miss fought most of those allegations. Despite Ole Miss's compelling case, the NCAA ultimately decided to levy another bowl ban against the program. What happens next remains to be seen. Max McCann, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
The Ole Miss team held a press conference earlier today, and our own SportsWatch reporter Maddie Bierster has more on what Chancellor Vitter and Ross Bjork said. Maddie?
Thanks, Colin. This afternoon, we were at the press conference where we spoke to Chancellor Jeffrey Vitter as in Ross Bjork as well about those NCAA sanctions. Here's what they had to say.
I think something happened, quite frankly, about a year and a half ago, just before the draft night from 2016. The course of this investigation changed. The entire conduct went from one of cooperation to one where we were shut out. So I really am very upset about the way that this process was conducted. It was unfair. It was not appropriate for our university, for our student athletes.
They did not cite exemplary cooperation. So I don't understand how people feel. We did cooperate because we pushed back. We made sure that everything we did was based on fact. And if there were violations, we took action. We would rather be a part of the process than isolated, because we know what happens when you're isolated. And I think we felt the effects of that after spring, summer 2016.
Obviously very upsetting, not only for them, but the Ole Miss family as well. The bowl appeal process, however, should take between 3 and 6 months until that verdict is reached. Live outside the Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, Maddie Bierster, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Thanks, Maddie. While both Chancellor Vitter and AD Ross Bjork were not happy with that decision made, Hugh Freeze released this statement earlier today. He mentioned that while he was disappointed in the decision made by the NCAA, he does respect it. Our own Courtney Cam explains just what went wrong for the former head coach Hugh Freeze and why he was a cause to some of the NCAA sanctions.
I'm a glass half full guy, always. I'm the ultimate optimist, and I just think in this profession you better stay positive every day, and I'm blessed. The good Lord has given me great health, a wonderful family, and a tremendous place to go to work every day.
I can't tell you how indebted I am, and I don't take that lightly. It is a burden that I will carry with me daily, and I will carry this flag of this university with energy, passion, and a positive attitude every single day that I get up, because I understand the Ole Miss people and the love that you have for this university, the love you have for each other, the love you have for family here, and obviously I have that love. This is a destination place for me, but I've taken them all around the nation to get back to one place, and that is the University of Mississippi right here.
December 5th, 2011. Ole Miss alum and Mississippi native Hugh Freeze is hired as the new Rebel head football coach.
We try to make our practices as chaotic as possible.
Following a previous 2-10 season, Freeze is excited to bring some positivity back into the program, but knows this is a tall order. Throughout the next 6 years of his tenure, Hugh Freeze would take Ole Miss fans on a wild roller coaster of wins and losses, both on and off the field. The 2012 season brings a winning record for the Rebels and an improvement in morale, but this is nothing compared to what comes next. 2013 signing day rolls around, and by the end of it, Freeze and the rest of the Rebel staff have put together the 8th best rated national class, with names like Laquan Treadwell, Laramie Tunzel, and Robert Kimdichie.
I'll be taking my talents to the University of Mississippi. Yeah!
Ole Miss, once an easily overlooked program, is quickly becoming an SEC powerhouse. Rebels start off the 2014 season 4-0, earning them a long-awaited spot hosting ESPN College Game Day against perennial powerhouse Alabama.
Really got it right.
The most anticipated game of the season quickly brings all eyes to Oxford for a game that would go down in Ole Miss history. Upsetting Alabama 23-17, something that hasn't been done since Eli Manning's senior year over a decade ago, puts Coach Freeze on a steady uphill climb to the peak of his career as a Rebel.